Well, you won't get a lemon from Toyota of Orange.
Wrestling buddies want to be your buddy.
Drug-free's the way to be.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, Miss Musso, we were just doing a promo.
Welcome to Home Wrestling League.
I am Penny Dreadful, joined by Juno Gimmicks Needed Bradley and Crystal the Casual at the Unicorn Soundboard. And this is Home Wrestling League. And I really need these two big promotions to get their shit together with scheduling, because it's making all of us very tired. If you could just figure out what would... I know this is a really good time for wrestling. There's so much of it out there, and it's more available to us than it ever has been, but you're making me tired. I would like to pretend I have a life. I know I ain't got one, but you're exhausting me. I figured out, okay, that the way to watch Saturday Night Main Event is the next day after it airs, because there are no commercials. I really, really feel like it was 2 minutes of wrestling, 3 minutes of commercials. 2 minutes of wrestling, 3 minutes of commercials. It's way too much. It's the worst I've ever seen.
Penny, you didn't enjoy the, oh God, well, he just did this move. We'll be right back. Oh
right? Like, they just rang the bell and they broke the table. Oh my God. We'll be right back. Like, bitch. It's a spot and then a commercial. Spot, then a commercial. You're not giving...
There's not enough time.
It's not enough time.
And God bless him. Just everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. I thought that fucking Pizza Hut thing that they did, that Survivor Series some years ago, was the worst we'd ever seen. It wasn't. It got worse. It's getting worse. Like, you may as well just start wearing gear with, Wheatley on the ass.
It's like, I mean, how would you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you need to, get your Wheatley's American Vodka while wiping your ass with dude wipes and drinking agua fresca and having a prime to wash it down as well.
While your State Farm quote is loading.
Yeah.
God.
H&R tax.
Oh God. I do think that by and large, the Saturday Night Main Events have been pretty underwhelming. Like, I figured, and you can tell me what you think, that they were positioning the Saturday Night Main Events to be like between the flagship shows and PLEs in terms of like importance and wrestling. But I don't think that's what's happening. It feels like a really long, like, Sunday Night Heat, which is no shade, but Sunday Night Heat was like definitely like an hour of wrestling and not much else. Nothing ever happened.
Hold on. Yeah, I do agree with that. It's not. I knew it was going to be weird because of the Selena Vega last minute add-on match, where I'm like, oh, okay, so you only had 4 matches and you're like, fuck, we need a 5th match. Selena, what are you doing? You want to come to Tampa? I know you're from New York and Puerto Rican, so like, you've been to Florida before. He's like, you want to make that drive, go to Newark, and then meet up with some family in Tampa?
Like, oh my God, catch a flight tomorrow.
You want to meet up with your family that most likely votes for Trump and is mad about the deportation, but allowed everything else?
That's Cubans. Although I can't speak to any Puerto Ricans that might be in Florida right now, but that's Cubans for the most part. Hanging out in Florida, acting like that. Oh my God, it's possible that they live actually in Florida, because like a lot of them live in Florida, because that's where like everything is.
And that's where it's the closest one for them to get to.
But we can talk about that.
He's such an interesting guy. He really is.
Right? He's the most Puerto Rican guy I've ever seen. And like, seeing him like out in the wild is so affirming for me as a Boricua, the way they used to say it back in the day. on
No.
the wrestling.
I just imagine Bad Bunny's backstage and shit, and it's just like he sees Rhea Ripley, and they're like, "Hey, I can only queer bait so much. No, I can only queer bait so much," and that probably caused like a.
Is he straight? Is he like super straight?
I'm pretty sure
I
he's.
thought he
like-
was a little on the, the LGBTQ side.
I've always believed he's the prince of our times.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay.
above it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where like
That's true. I can see that.
I believe he queer baits so much he might be homophobic.
Went too far in the other direction and came right around.
Yeah,
Full circle. I mean,
The compass is broken.
he's doing those Calvin Klein underwear ads. It's pretty gay, but you've seen those, right?
What? I did not. Okay, hold on.
You've not seen? No, you got to look. You're gonna enjoy.
I think that Penny is just like, oh wait, where's this at, and how can I see this?
Tell me exactly so I can avoid it.
Oh God, it's so
See, look at her face.
gross.
Look at her face. Yeah, that man.
Oh,
he's
and
good
there's a
looking.
billboard and everything.
He's like, it's
Yeah,
so
that's-
gross.
Yeah,
I'm gonna save these pictures so I don't ever have to see him again.
that is really homosexual. Like,
Thank you.
extremely homosexual.
Incredibly gay.
Yeah.
That is like super gay.
Yeah. I didn't know he was that worked out either.
No,
Or tattooed.
He's in good shape, dude.
My
Like-
goodness. Well, good for Ben.
Oh my gosh, this pillow. It's not doing what
Okay.
I wanted to. Okay, there we go.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Now back
All right.
to porch.
Okay. All right. Video's cut. All right. They started with the money match, which this was the only of the matches that were announced, at least in advance, that I was interested in seeing. And it ended up being, I don't know which one was the actual shortest, but it might have been the shortest. I feel like I got robbed.
I mean, everybody made their entrance. It's weird now with CM Punk because now he's at this weird point where he somehow got over again after WrestleMania. And so now everyone's just AEWizing his intro, so they're singing it.
Bruh, that's a thing that has gone out there. Like, wrestling fans all over, they're weird. Didn't want to be topped by Australia and them like sitting in Metalingus to Edge, Cope,
Yeah.
whatever he is now. And I feel like everywhere they go, they want to do that. I don't know. You know what? Philip is an interesting one. And I think he really, really stands apart from his contemporaries in that he's kind of like moved beyond being over. I think he's kind of like transcending it because the people who love him,
Really love it.
it's oh boy, it's cultish.
It's like a
cultish.
cult of
And-
personality.
Ah, ah, ah. And the people who hate him really hate him. And no one doesn't have an opinion about Philip Brooks. And everyone's opinion is fixed. And I'll make an argument over, several beers that he has the best entrance music of anyone ever for several reasons.
Yeah. I mean, that's the difference. All top guys have, like, as soon as you hear the first two notes, you're like, oh, it's such and such. So, him having that song by that black rock band, it's really helped him in this part of his career.
Right?
And-
It's better than everyone's entrance music because like it wasn't written by whomever in the back for him the way like a lot of other people's were. And Austin has a great one, Rock has a great one, but they were made specifically by those people for those people. But Philip just picked it out of like not wrestling. It came from somewhere else. It has a life and a personality of its own, but it says so much about him. It's creepily perfect for him. It's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just like I need to stand out and it's helped him so much.
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
theme song.
yeah. It's more and more as he's like grown in both like as a performer and in like the industry in general. It just he grows into it more and more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like even like when he eventually does turn heel, it's gonna be the same thing. Like no matter what he does, it's gonna explain Phillip Brooks.
I think he's in that Randy Orton situation where
Mhm.
he there's no reason like when he turns heel, no one's really gonna boo him. Like
No.
he's it's just like, oh, okay, I guess he's heel now. So
Yeah.
it's not even like, man, that's so sucks that CM Punk's heel. It was like
Right?
everybody's like, oh, okay, I guess he's heel now. So
Yeah.
I'm still gonna watch this match.
Yeah.
I'm
And
still
it
gonna
doesn't
watch this match.
and he doesn't have to change much about his presentation to be heel
No,
the same way that Randy doesn't anymore, really. And the same way that Sean didn't either. Didn't have to change a whole lot about his presentation. Because anytime you knew Sean was heel, he would hit the sweet chin music, but then like freeze. And that's where you knew, oh, Sean's heel again. But he didn't have to change a whole lot. Just a tiny bit. And like he's heel again. He's always kind of on that edge, that dying. You can't teach that.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and he's so good at pro wrestling that
In the ring he's fine, I think. What do you think about his ring work? Because I'm only seeing him on the tail end of his career. What was he
so
like when he was younger?
like he's fine. So it's a weird thing, and I've heard somebody talk about this before. Like CM Punk is one of the few wrestlers that understands pro wrestling. Like the
Mhm,
fact that his moves aren't like 100% crisp,
mhm.
and he's just trying to win the match
Sure.
constantly
Yeah.
is the thing that puts him over. Like he's not doing like 9 moves in a row to get over. He's
Mhm.
just like, is this enough to win the match? No. Is this enough to win the match?
Yeah.
No. Like I like that. And one of the funny things about this match is pro wrestling is so weird because you're supposed to buy that Sami Zayn and CM Punk had a chance against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Like body wise, look at the two. Look at these two men.
Look, I suppose that, about a year ago when Seth was a little soft around the middle, you could believe that it was only Braun, but Seth's been hitting the gym. He's looking a little more brolic. Yeah. Yeah. Like what is the Machamp? What is the last evolution of that Pokemon?
I will look that up. Give me.
Machamp and Machoke. There's like 3 little green guys who do really brolic. Like Seth and Braun are like the latter 2 evolutions of that Pokemon
Right.
right
Yeah,
now.
Let's see. So okay. So
Machoke, is that it?
Machamp evolved from Machoke. Okay, and then
Oh,
oh my
that it?
god, it's getting so.
Is that it? Because like
No,
you
I'm
could do the
looking at it.
Charmander and Charizard.
I was just
I know there's
Charizard,
Charmander, Charizard.
but I wanted the little
There's
fighting guy.
let's see. Okay,
'Cause
so
when I think of Braun Breaker and what he looks like in his presentation, I think of that Pokemon, that big muscly one.
Yeah.
yeah,
Brolic.
so yeah, Machamp becomes evolves from Machoke. So Machoke becomes Machamp. And
that's
then Machamp can become. Oh no, wait, sorry. It evolves from
Isn't it only 3?
Machamp evolves from Machoke when traded or when exposed to a linking cord. It is the final form of Machop.
Oh, yes, thank you. Because there's always
Machop,
3,
Machoke,
but some of them,
Machamp.
need a special thing,
There's
but
a
point made.
fourth one.
There's a 4th one.
Yeah, it's called Gigantamax Machamp. It gets new.
That's Braun Breaker. Gigantamax.
I'll find a picture. Hold on. I'll show you guys this picture. Give me a second. I can put it in the chat, I think.
Yep, that's Braun Breaker.
Can I put it in the chat? Let's see if it lets me.
I found it. That's fucking hilarious. That's the Braun Breaker right there. Purple skin
No,
and
it doesn't
all.
look me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the big Gigantamax.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, but point made. Like those, like Philip and Sammy look like the two cool guys at elementary school pickup. They're the ones who gravitate towards each other, right? Because they listen to the Pixies and they drink IPAs. Those guys. That's what they look like when you put them across from Seth and Gigantamax Macha.
like when I see Seth and Pump, like those guys, they're those white guys where you're just like, you know what? I know you're not a piece of shit. Like whenever I see Punk and Sami Zayn, I'm like, I know you're not gonna make a racist joke for laughs, and I'm comfortable with that.
Yes. And you'll wear Palestine colors.
They both did.
Yep.
That was really cool.
Yes, I loved it.
And it's just like it's just a thing where I don't know if you saw that dumbass tweet where the guy was just like, saying free Palestine is the new N-word. And I'm like, honestly, if it was the new N-word, you would just say the actual word.
Insert Delroy Lindo here. So say it. Go on. I'll say it with you.
Yeah, it's like
that's so funny.
Can't
say the word, but you will say it the same as okay.
Exactly. And then motherfuckers trying to get Miss Rachel out of the paint too, because she had the
Miss Rachel's going hard in the paint. Okay,
it's like
defense.
It's a bunch of people watching that shit, and Miss Rachel has the kid with the legs blown off on the thing, and people are like, "Wow, I can't believe Miss Rachel is so anti-Semitic." I'm like, this child got her legs blown off, and then you're like,
that's wild. Like it's wild to me. And then they're, here's the thing. Like I am around, tiny children, and they all love Miss Rachel, and I was like, I know I like Miss Rachel because I was like, they made her cry. That pisses me off. They made Miss Rachel cry. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like this woman is doing a service, and you're just like,
no, she is, and
wow.
she's good at it too. Like,
I can't believe she would have this 2-year-old terrorist on her fucking platform. Let's try to cancel Miss Rachel.
What timeline are we in?
The dumbest one? We're in the dumbest one. I'm sorry. Like
that 2-year-old should have known where she was at the time that her legs got blown off.
Man, props to Miss Rachel for going hard in the paint and not backing down. And props to Sammy and Phil, I guess, doing their part and not going to the Saudi show. I don't know what that's going to be. What a tough spot to be in. And I'll bring it back to like what people like with the people who dislike Phil. And you said you were never going back there. You're a hypocrite. You're a scum. And I'm like, I understand that. I get where that's coming from. But it must be pretty complicated because if you wanted to be a wrestler, you would want to wrestle where all the wrestlers were. We were all growing up. It makes sense. And now that it's a different environment run by a less, disgusting guy, like it's certainly difficult to hold all those, weights at the same time. So yeah. I sympathize for those who work at the E now because it's the opportunity of a lifetime and fraught with so much complicated bullshit.
Yeah. Like a couple years ago when they started doing the shows, I think the relations with the Saudis and Arabic people are, I'm blanking on what the Sami Zayn situation. Basically, they were saying like if Sami Zayn would have shown up to those shows, they probably would have tried to kill him. But
he didn't go at first, right?
Yeah, but I think the relationships have eased over time, and that's why every time he goes, he's like over.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, yeah.
Yeah.
But shout out to them wearing those colors, and shout out to Miss Rachel, I guess. Um, and so the match happens, and it's okay. And I didn't know where this was going, but when they had that long shot on the other side of the ring, I'm like,
Mhm.
something's gonna happen. And then
Yeah.
you see Bronson Reed just like,
Mhm.
barely make over the barricade, and then fucking they fucking run over Phil. And
He was missed. I missed him.
yeah, I thought he was gonna be on Judgment Day, but this he's on the group that
Oh, yeah.
like that's how you know somebody's evil is when because Seth got tsunamied by that guy like 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then Seth is just like, you know what?
We're gonna retcon.
You know who we need on this team? The dude that whooped my ass.
Yeah.
That's the perfect guy we need on this team.
Yes. It makes sense.
That
He's
is
a visionary.
villainous as fuck.
Yes.
It's like the motherfucker that whooped my ass is a perfect addition to
Yes.
my team.
It makes sense in and out of kayfabe. Like
Yeah.
we need a guy, you can be the guy, and I'll recruit you because you whooped my ass.
Yeah.
I'm
Remember
not
that
mad
one time you whooped my ass? Yeah, just do that to everybody else now.
exactly. I'm not mad at it. I did think it was gonna be Sammy.
Yeah.
I think Sammy's long overdue for a heel. And it'd be
Uh,
really interesting.
I don't know because it's weird. He's one of the most sincere baby faces, and you kind of don't want to let that go.
That's true.
He's become the Rey Mysterio, but white.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Just white.
Yeah. It sometimes still feels weird to look at where Tammy is in like the hierarchy, of WWE and how people see him. When not too long ago, that guy was in a gimmick match with fucking Johnny Knoxville.
That
And-
saved that's helped him so much. Is
right.
that match?
Yeah. Like not too long ago, that was the guy that y'all were booing. You
Yeah.
wanted the guy from Jackass to be.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating how quickly things can change.
This is the guy who fucking had Wee Man body slam him.
Oh my god.
But yeah, after the match, CM Punk goes back in and he's still trying to like beat up Paul Heyman. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, why? Like you knew what was gonna happen. And the way he was angled, he had his knee up, and then Bronson Reed is just like, well, I'm just gonna lay on you. And you're like, oh God, Phil is too old for that. Hopefully his knee's not fucked up. But
Yeah.
they tsunami'd him, and then Bronson Reed is just like, well, I'm back.
Like,
Yeah. And now you got these behemoths and Seth Rollins making this group with this guy who's turned his. And when I see Paul Heyman, it's for me, it's always weird to see because he's like the definition of that dude that met his wife through cheating on her, and then and then he cheats on his wife, and that wife that he was cheating on with is always shocked that, oh my God, you were cheating on me? How could you do that?
yeah.
It's like, well,
Yeah. Yeah. Always in business for himself. God, he dresses like a man that does that too. Oh shit. Oh God. So yeah, they got Bronson Reed back from his injury that he had over at Survivor Series, and they recruited a Geodude.
Yeah.
They got someone even bigger.
Geodude.
Geodude.
So that match too quick, and I feel like I got posed. I want a proper tag team match with those guys. It could have been so much fun, but it was really just a vehicle to bring back another guy and put him in whatever that. Are they gonna get a name? What kind of name could they use?
It's gonna be some dumb shit.
It's gonna be terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be something to the effect of the future or some shit, or The like
I know they're kicking around a bunch of names for that back in creative, and they're all so bad they haven't brought one out yet. I don't know what's going to be the natural one. One of them is going to float to the surface and be the least terrible, and I can't wait to make fun of it.
it'll be like in WCW
Vision
like,
Quest,
might as well.
right?
In WCW like 1995, they had people against Hulk Hogan, and they had the guy. I think
I'm sorry, there was a stable called the People Against Hulk Hogan.
it was the Resistance against Hulk Hogan. It was something stupid.
That's fun.
And it was like the Four Horsemen and the Dungeon of Doom,
Right.
and then they had Zeus, aka Tiny Lister,
Oh yeah.
Broken Friday, and then they had this really big guy. I think that was the guy who played Bane in Batman and Robin. He was also like another guy. They called Zeus Z Gangster. They called Zeus Z Gangster, but they gave this guy the name for a little bit. The guy that was in Batman and Robin as the Final Solution, and then they were like, "Hey, we should not do that."
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Why that's not a good name.
I don't remember that in Batman and Robin.
You
And
don't remember Bane and Batman and Robin?
No.
Yeah, they're fighting him, and then Chris O'Donnell kicks out his tubes, and he shrinks down, and that's how he gets defeated. But yeah, they were calling him the Final Solution. So
I remember, you know what? When I was young, I enjoyed Batman and Robin because I like camp Batman. Camp Batman is my favorite Batman. And also because I was a 90s child, so huge Alicia Silverstone fan. And she's Batgirl, so I'm like, let's go.
I mean, it's a lot of
I
people's
have,
sexual awakens.
sure, yes. I know Mr. Freeze is in that. I have no memory of Bane in that movie. What's that about? Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's not a good movie. But
no, IMDb gives it a solid 3.8.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you want to see a good gay Batman, but not
the
gay,
nipples, yeah.
Batman Forever's your option. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
of course.
better made film. It's
Yeah.
from the same guy, but it's a better made film.
And then, Jeep Swenson is the guy's name. Wow. Why would you have a third bad guy? Because you already have Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. Why did you need another one? Wow. Joel Schumacher, I don't know what you did, but wow. Selective memory there. Wow. I gotta watch that again.
No, you do. It's one of the gayest Batman movies you're ever going to see.
That's why.
I think I'm thinking conflating a good deal of it with Batman Forever, which is maybe the better.
Could be.
Probably.
It's so funny that we're talking about that because somebody posted like a compilation of tweets about it, and they were just like, "What was it like?" Someone said that superhero movies are too obsessed with explaining the costumes for their heroes now. They're like, Poison Ivy just rocked up in this shit, and she was like, "Here I am."
Right?
That's it.
I'm just in this now.
This is me, hot and sexy and gonna kill people.
Yeah. I mean, probably after this, I might go watch Batman Forever again. But, like, it is...
With those gratuitous butt shots in the armor.
Yeah.
Those hard cuts to butts.
No, it was worse in the second one than
Sure it was.
Yeah,
Batman Forever.
Hard cuts to butts.
Yeah, Batman Forever was like gay, but it's just like, oh, this is interesting enough, and Val Kilmer can pull you out of it.
It was a broody kind of gay.
Yeah, but Batman and Robin is just like, all right, let's just. We already made enough money the first time. We can do whatever we want.
Oh God, I got so much smoke for George Clooney. I'm never gonna have enough for him. You want to move on to the next one?
Sure.
I found out that Zelina and Chelsea have been added. I feel like the
The same
morning
time they
of.
did.
Fucking shit, right? Like this, because earlier that week, not a day or two before, it was on Threads. Like, is there no women's match? And we were like, yeah, they had no women's match. And I wake up Saturday morning and there's a fucking women's match. I'm like, when did this happen? Because I didn't watch all of SmackDown. I went to sleep. I'm old. I watched the first match, the qualifier with the ladies. The only one I was really interested in, and I was like, I'm not gonna stay awake for the rest of this. And apparently other things happened, but for 3 hours, they have a 3 hour SmackDown right now. I can't do it. I also don't understand why. What was the point of creating these mid card titles to do them like this? Why is Zelina's first defense is against Chelsea, and having the first defense against like the previous champion is fine, makes sense, rematch, whatever. But it's weeks later.
So as soon as I saw that Money in the Bank qualifying match with Julia and Charlotte and Zelina, I'm like, well, we already know who's taking that pin. And
Yes.
And so they probably just needed her to they needed her to just get her win back. And that's why I was just like, I don't think they're gonna have her lose twice in a row.
Yeah, no.
Chelsea Green is trying to make that something. Like if you took her off the belt, like she should have won Money in the Bank. I mean, it's obviously going to be Naomi now, but like
do you think so?
Yeah.
I hope so.
It's either Naomi or Roxanne Perez.
Should be
of those two, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But because Chelsea was doing really good work, and
she's one of the best things they have going.
Like, just it was funny because when she did the promo, and she's just like, I'm gonna, the ballot is in, and I will be your second term United States champion. And then she says to the interviewers, like, thank you for your service, and walked into the ring. And like, it's a great gimmick. She has secret Hervis agents.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fucking great gimmick.
Yeah, it is.
And so Zelina Vega is such a tiny person. So
right, when I was watching them, I was like, how tall is Chelsea? She's only 5'7". So she looks particularly large next to little Zelina. Yeah.
When she took that power bomb, parts of me was just like, oh, come on, get back up, please. Get back up. And then she got back up, and they ended up finishing the match. They had the outside interference, which is hilarious because it was only there. And then they just walked on the other side of the ring like, I can't believe Chelsea's absolutely going to win. And then she ends up losing. And you're like, well, what good were you guys? You got to make sure the job is done. Like, it was like the last time the Secret Service did something that egregious, Donald Trump, got shot, quotation marks. And it was like, hey, you got to make sure that job is done before you go off and celebrate.
I feel like the mid-card divisions throughout the time that we've been fans have always been like dominated by like very loud personalities and gimmicks. For some reason, when I think of a strong mid-card division, I always think of The Godfather, which is probably a poor example, but it's a big, loud gimmick, right? Because, back in the day, I mean, the most popular guys, you're not going to have them out through the whole show. They might, start and end a Raw, but you can't have fucking Steve out there for 2 hours. So they had to have strong guys in the mid-card. And it was always like some outlandish shit. And that's what they're missing. Chelsea's outlandish. And you could really build a strong mid-card around her if you'd actually try. And you know what? I give credit to Keith Lee's lady, Stephanie Meechin.
Yeah, Meechin.
because she's really kind of taken on her own as like the gangster one, but she's strong in the ring, and she has
Hey,
a good like kind of
fun.
hardcore gimmick going.
Yeah.
If they give it some effort, they could have a strong division.
Yeah, like they it's for niche-ins, it's for Chelsea Green will be a main event. She'll move into the main event. It's for to get the girls that they just fired over. Like that's who who would benefit from the mid card. It's yeah. All those girls
And
that
it
they were like,
tells you exactly how much they care about that.
yeah,
Because none of them girls we ever saw them ever again after they didn't qualify that first time around.
yeah,
They didn't have to
exactly.
do that, but that's what happened.
Mm.
Yeah. Again, a tiny botch, not a huge botch, but a little botch, baby botch. That 619 resulted in a broken nose for Chels. A
Yeah.
broken
It
nose
sure
was
did.
good on her.
And she didn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
She was like, "What? Are you serious?" The ref was like, "Yeah, you got to go to medical. Your nose is broken." She's like, "What? It is?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "How do you not know your nose is broken?"
It's like it wasn't a 619, it was like a 6
61. A 61.
A 61, yeah.
yeah.
Forgot the
Awkward
9.
business all around. And they've had better, matches before. But
Yeah.
I guess that's what you get out of being like 12 hours before, oh, you're gonna have this match tomorrow, get on the plane. Like I guess that's what you would expect when you don't have time to work on something.
I gotta go to Tampa.
Now
Ugh. But honestly, this is gonna sound fucked up, but I know it's 100% true. The only reason that match happened is to advertise for Evolution.
yeah. It's why would
Because
that be a
like
messed up thing?
no, because I'm
It's true.
like that. I'm like, why would you have this match? And then you're like,
Mhm,
oh, okay, so you're advertising Evolution directly
mhm,
after this match to be like, see, we
mhm.
care about these
Yeah, yeah.
girls.
Uh-huh. Like, oh, we have women's matches. We care. We're gonna do it here. So
Mhm.
I'm just reminding you that we have women here. So let's just
Yeah.
throw that one on there. Yeah, 100%. We see through y'all. All right, you want to move on to the next last minute fucking add on to this card?
What is the John Cena match?
Can you call it a match?
Oh no, it was
I mean, a bell rang.
yeah. They did a couple moves. John Cena's trying to work his way through what could have been one of the better retirement gimmicks. And Dwayne had to come in and be like, how do I fuck this up for a person and then be in a Martin Scorsese movie at the same time? And it's
Is
like,
it
I
a
know.
Scorsese movie? I thought that was Roman.
No, he is Rock is gonna be in a Martin Scorsese movie. That's part of the reason like he did not come back for WrestleMania. Because he's gonna be in a Martin Scorsese movie. So now he's a serious actor, so he doesn't need wrestling anymore. I don't know what the movie's gonna be about, but kudos.
Kudos to you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Dwayne.
So
Model.
John Cena comes out in his 1970s Tampa Bay colored outfit, and then as he's coming out, he looks over and one of the signs says John Cena eats corn the long way, which made me laugh.
Oh my god.
That's an insane thing to say.
Oh,
That's,
Well, it shouldn't be eating corn the long way.
I guess not.
oh god.
And
I guess
then
it shouldn't.
it's all serious, but with the hilarious music. Like it's just he just should have changed his gimmick. He didn't do it, and now we all have to suffer through this.
Now we're all paying
You
for
really
it.
should have. He should be dressing the way Cody dresses. To
Yes,
go to theme parks.
exactly.
He really should have been,
It's
John
frustrating.
Cena out as as he is in the regular world.
It's
Just like
frustrating.
he's going to church.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So so he comes out, does his little shtick about the greatest of all time, and then Ron Truth comes out.
Truth.
Ron Truth comes out, and he just basically comes out in the same
Right.
theme, dressed like a
Cosplaying
old John
as John
Cena.
Cena. Yeah.
Yeah. It's instead of John Cena, it's Ron
Yeah.
Cena, and he does all the shit,
John
and that
Cena.
pisses off John Cena.
Mhm.
And then, the match is essentially Cena gets the 5 moves of doom, and then he switches out, and Ron Killings does the 5 moves of doom,
Mhm.
and he hits the AA. And then this is the thing that kind of pissed me off, because I'm like, if I'm John Cena, if I take my move and I couldn't, I'm kicking out at 1. I'm sorry, I'm kicking out at fucking 1, man.
Yeah.
Like if you do my finisher to me, I'm kicking out at 1.
Bad enough for making me trade my finisher.
Yeah, he goes out and he's gonna hit him with the belt, and then he tricks Truth, and he kicks Truth between the balls, and then
low blow.
wins the match. And I'm like, okay, that was fine. I'm glad it didn't go longer. Like,
I guess I'm glad it didn't go longer. What I'm disappointed about is this is gonna count as one of his appearances for the year.
yeah,
And that's what we got.
And the WWE was just like, we need to put another commercial here, and so it's just like, oh, all right. Like,
put the money guy next to the money.
Yeah, okay. Like, we got to find a way to get our Lon John Silver's commercials in here. I don't even know what the fuck they're advertising.
I don't know anymore.
Long John Silver's, those even exist anymore?
Barely.
Yeah, barely.
Not out here. Not out here. I don't think the West Coast is very big with that.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a
definitely the East Coast. I
Yeah.
remember seeing those a lot when I lived there, but
Yeah.
not out here.
Yeah, that match is some weirdo filler, man. And a lot of people have been like, we want to see that happen. We want to see that match happen. And we didn't really get a match. We got we just got, the length of a run-in,
Exactly. Which sets up later on, because I think they do this. Is it either after the cage match or before the praise match where Jey Uso and John
have the run-in? I think it's after here where they have that run-in.
Okay.
And we got to book Money in the Bank. Let's set things up. I feel like it was right after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they get Jesse Ventura out, who was dressed the same way at a Clash of the Champions 30 years ago, because he had the fringe and then the Malcolm X hat, which it's hilarious. Like, Jesse is one of those guys who you would be shocked. Like he's one of those white guys where you're like, I don't know if you're racist or not, but I think you're too crazy to be racist. Like the best people, like usually when white people are insane, they're not racist. It's a weird thing where they're just like, you're too crazy to be racist. It's like, we have one, like Crystal and I know people who are just like, you're a little off, but I know you're not racist because of how crazy you are.
Do you need to be a little less crazy? I feel like in the same way that we had that conversation about, getting so gay that you become homophobic, it kind of, you go in one direction too much and you kind of hit that right there of the crazy and not racist, and just a little bit more crazy, and you swing right into racist. He's probably at that spot where just right on the cusp, right on the bubble.
because he believes in conspiracy theories, but they're not racist conspiracy theories. Like that's like the thing where you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
He's just like, the government's trying to do this to you. He's not like, hey, so there's this pizza place in Washington D.C. that is not zoned for a basement that keeps a bunch of child victims down there, right? And you're like, that is the weirdest thing about Pizzagate to me, is the fact that like how hard it is to make a basement if you're not zoned for a basement.
They're not taking reality into into consideration.
That's the best thing about the conspiracy theory. There's no reality.
But like, it is incredibly hard to get zoned for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you actually have to have government documents to be like, we're gonna create a basement. Like, that's the part where I'm like obviously the child porn is the child like sex ring is awful, but it's just like getting zoned for that is so hard.
That's the unbelievable part.
Yes,
that is the unbelievable part. That I would give them that zoning, because they never want to give you the zoning.
My cousin works in DC as like, he is a person who does like getting like permits and stuff, and it is so hard to do that.
It is
in general. And so you're just like, this company it's funded by George Soros and a bunch of billionaires so they can have sex with children. And I'm like, no, because of the permits, that is why it's not happening. I mean, obviously, like,
oh shit.
The child stuff is not a good thing, but the permits alone takes so much time.
That's the unbelievable
for this
part.
to happen.
Yeah. The bureaucracy wouldn't allow it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
That might be the title for this episode.
The bureaucracy will not allow it.
Yeah, you'd have to keep that whole diatribe in, though. And it's fun though.
Yeah.
We contain multitudes. Do I move on to the actual only good match? The only match that was the length of an actual match.
Oh yeah, no, this is great, because that's when Jesse shows up, and he is just such an old man too.
Right?
Because they're having the entrances and shit, and Jesse is still going on his diatribe about. He's just talking over the whole thing, and you can see Michael Cole in the background having span on his face, just laughing. And it's just ridiculous. And then you have Pat McAfee shout out, giving the shout outs to everybody over there doing the thing. Shout out, doing the thing. Shout out.
That was hilarious. I've never heard a commentator talk over it.
Doing the thing. I'm Pat McAfee, doing the thing, the shout out.
Oh my God. And talking over Lillian as she's like explaining the whole thing about the cage. Never heard that before ever.
God, he's such a, like, the match is okay, but his diatribe at the end made that match incredible.
And I'm remembering, like, isn't that how cage matches worked back in his day? They were blue and you won by escaping.
You won by escaping, or like it depends. Sometimes it's pinfall, but with something like this, just it's the funniest, because like, he's such an old man where you're like, man, shut the hell up. But he's such an old man where you're like, he's fucking right. He's so right about this match. Where it's just like, this man fucking just beat the shit out of you. You've been going back and forth. You guys have screwed each other for like a year now, a year plus. And then, you're like, hey, I'm going to do this move and then walk out of a cage. Nah, I am putting my foot on your chest and pinning you. Like, this is not.
Could they have gone for the pinhole? I guess I don't know what would have been the way to win, because, Jesse talked over Lillian.
Oh, yeah.
Was it only escaping, or could he gotten a pinfall victory? I don't know.
It might have been. I don't actually know. Like, that's the
right. That's why you got to let the announcer explain what the rules are. And
But
I thought it was kind of hard to give him the concerto and then just walk.
no, they were going for pinfall. So yeah, they were going for pinfalls because something in this match is huge that happened. The Drew hit the Claymore and he kicked out. Like no one really kicks out of the Claymore, and it's just like I think it's because they're just like, well, it's a match and it happens. So he kicks out of the Claymore, and you're like, no, this is a bigger deal than like no one kicks out of that move, but there's the way it was presented. It was just like, no, well, he kicked out. Good for him. And then he tried to hit them with the move that he won that WrestleMania match with the Claymore in the corner
with the chair.
And didn't. And another thing is Drew
brought those chairs in.
Yeah, like
right.
You do the damage to yourself.
Yep. Anytime you bring in the foreign object, you're the one getting worked over with it.
Yeah.
It's a rule.
Chekhov's foreign object.
Chekhov's object. And just the fact that he walked out, and the only thing that would have made this a little bit better is if he would have just been like, you know what, this ain't over. Let me go back and do another one.
Yeah.
Then do, because the entire audience was just like, yeah, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah.
And then he just walks out just all sassily, and it's just like, well, I did this. All right, this is over. And since I'm Puerto Rican, I'm going to go hang out with my family, which is down the street because this is Tampa. And a bunch of people were just like, yeah, we have a summer house in Tampa. Or our family lives in Tampa for some reason. But Jesse going on his rant about this made that match awesome because he is so right. Like, you need to see the whites of your enemy's eyes. Like, you know how women love psychological warfare? Like, you need to be like, well, I screwed over this person. Now let me watch them suffer. Instead of being like, well, I'm walking out of this cage and I'm done with this. I'm like, man, if I don't get the fuck out of here.
Don't look back, you turn into a pillar of salt.
Yeah. This is yeah, Tampa is Sodom.
Just as hot. And a humid hot.
No, thank you.
Also, Priest, I don't know what he's coming out with that whole fucking thing. He looks like Shao Kahn every time I see him, more and more.
Yeah, that I was just like, this is a really elaborate outfit for
wasn't it? Right?
Was this what you wanted to do in WrestleMania, but you couldn't get the goal? You couldn't get the thing in time?
Wasn't done in time. Right. Yes. And you saved it for this. I guess. I hope we see it again. It's fun. It's a fun little get up. Stick with the Shao Kahn thing. I like it.
I do think it's funny though that you point out like he's got this elaborate outfit on, then Drew McIntyre's just in there in his his undies as per usual.
Yeah.
It was funny because when we were watching it, Crystal didn't know, and Crystal's just like, "Oh, both of these guys are wrestling. Penny's gonna have a great time."
I did. I was like, "Oh, it's her faves together."
I'm never getting tired of these two. I feel like by this point they've been back and forth so much. I should be tired of it. I'm not. I love it. I love them individually, and I think they work really well together. I'm not going to get tired of it. And this is probably going to be it, but
yeah, because Drew McIntyre said the thing where like, he was just like, I should be laughing, but it's kind of fucked up. He's just like, yeah, I can't turn my head left anymore because I'm in so much pain. And I'm like, should you be wrestling? Like,
right?
What?
I was watching that. Like, how do you pull off a concerto without killing a person? Like, do you mostly angle the top of the chair to hit the other chair?
No,
and hitting the head.
The way the concerto is they're hitting the top of the chair / the mat.
Ah,
So like if your head is here and the top of the chair and the mat is here, they're
Mhm.
hitting here.
right. Okay.
Yeah. The science of nonsense.
Nonsense.
Yeah, we have some pretty good titles in this one. Like
Science of nonsense. Yeah.
this,
Honestly, wait, what is this? What was this one called? This show? The title of it? The not our show, but like the wrestling.
Saturday Night Main Event.
Oh, Saturday Night Main Event. I was like, yeah, the people at Saturday Night Main Event when they did that, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, are like, we're gonna give Penny everything she wants. We're giving Penny everything she wants. You've seen that meme, right? Where it's that person holding the phone saying, "I'm gonna give the gays everything they want."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Have they had a Hell in a Cell? Is this their only like cage match kind of thing? I would have preferred a Hell in a Cell than these two.
They've never had a Hell in a Cell in Saturday Night Main Event. Saturday Night Main Event went from 85 to 92.
No, I mean between Drew and
No.
I would have preferred a Hell in a Cell with these two if we were gonna do a cage match.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, like, I feel like this should be done, and
Yeah,
well, who's
it
gonna
should.
come back? But like, it'll have to be like loser leaves town type shit if they're gonna do another one.
Yeah, and then someone would have to actually leave for a while, and they're both like too active and too deserving for that to happen to either one of them. Yeah, they're probably done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to the main event?
Yeah, man. Like
I also was asleep by this time, so I missed it.
Jey
So
Uso,
I did skip Logan Paul.
yeah, Jey Uso coming out and then making that little white child's life where he did the yeet.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why he gets pushed.
Right?
Is because when I went to WrestleMania, everybody was hyped for that. Like, that is like, oh, they're doing the yeet. Yes, we're all doing this. We're all doing this. And so when he comes out, it's just like it's always exciting.
Yeah.
And people try to hate on him, but if you sell merch and you get over, people like you.
And where there's a thing that you guys can do together when it's connected to, a wrestler that like it kind of makes it more sticky. Like you can't see me or what, like if there's something that goes with the whole thing, like come on, you want to do this. It's fun. And then you want to watch Michael Cole like not be able to do it because he has no rhythm. Like it just works. And something works and it brings people like together and if children love it, like come on.
And then you see Pat McAfee. I was gonna do Mac McAfee. That's what I was about to say. I'm just gonna call him now. So
Matt McAfee.
So Matt does the thing. Matt does the thing. Shout out to the Yeet Man. Shout out
to the Yeet Man. Oh God.
The way he talks. I love how Matt McAfee
the
talks.
Yeet Man.
The Yeet Man. Shout out. Doing the thing.
So Pat is the archetype that he is. If we're talking like white man archetypes, as I, described Philip and Sammy earlier, Pat is the overexcited Celtics fan at the bar when the Celtics are like halfway through a series. Like that's him. He's really loud and you can hear his accent. And he's like, his hair is like naturally light. He's like blonde and he's like 10 pounds too heavy for the shirt that he's wearing. That's Pat. Yeah. Like I know what, like you can tell the type of the mold, when they make men out of the Men Factory, that's that's the Men Factory. Yeah.
He'll talk your ear off about how great Larry Bird is.
Which pains me personally. because I love Larry. I actually do. But I don't want to talk about him with, homers from boxing.
It's like, whatever happened to good basketball? Now they just go to the foul line all the time. And it's like they got that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander looking like a metrosexual. He's Canadian. Whatever happened to Americans winning the MVP? Back in the day when Americans used to win the MVP. Now we have all these foreigners win
Dog
the MVP.
whistle. Mm-hmm.
Back when good, American boys like Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki would win MVPs.
See, they're all the same kind of dude.
It's like, well, actually, no, Steve Nash is American. You can't prove. Canadian Steve Nash is American. There's a difference.
But he is from Canada, right?
That's a joke, Penny.
Okay, because I didn't pay attention to Steve Nash. I forgot that he existed for a second. But then, did anyone complain about Luka when he won his MVP?
Luka's never won an MVP. That's part of the problem. That
really, I thought he did recently.
No, he's never won an MVP. Like he's won Western Conference MVP for the playoffs, but that's it. Like he's never won an actual MVP.
That's incorrect.
Yeah, that's why the whole trade with him and LeBron or him and Anthony Davis was such a big fucking deal because Luka's about to enter his prime.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. That's interesting. The things you think existed like didn't. And it's Mandela effect. Okay. Pat is they're paying these people to put over that boy on commentary so hard. It's great for the entire business when Logan gets into a ring. For what? But he's taken to this business so well. Are you saying that Logan Paul represents the industry? What?
Yeah, he's just he. Okay, so one of the things that Ronda Rousey never got, that if she would have gotten, I think it would have helped her so much, is the Logan Paul treatment. In the sense that Logan Paul got to practice his matches. Ronda kind of didn't. She was always on the road because Vince is just like, you're going to be a wrestler, damn it.
Put on the road immediately. And Logan, I see what you mean. Like use her a little more sparingly in the way they've used him, a little more sparingly. But then they trot him out for big matches.
Yeah, they trot him out for big matches. The matches are heavily rehearsed.
Yeah.
And, well, we'll talk about what's going to happen in Money in the Bank, which is going to be hilarious. But
what's going to happen?
Because the tag team match that happens at the end is actually going to be a 6-man tag match where it's going to be the Usos and Roddy Codes against John Cena, Logan Paul, and Travis Scott.
Oh my God, is that really going to happen?
That's what they're planning on it.
Oh God.
Looks like Travis Scott's going to be around for a while in wrestling.
It's just going to be Fiend.
I hadn't thought of that. My God. But all right, let me go back to Logan for a second because I wanted to make a note about Logan. I said I hated him on Threads, and people were like, "Yes, we all hate him. We're very excited to hate him." And like, he isn't the first talented asshole in the ring, and he won't be the last. Like the other one that I usually think of who's a talented asshole is Austin Theory. Talented in the ring, definitely an asshole outside of it. Like if you would think, I'm not gonna again. I did it once, and I'm like, okay. Which is why it pained me to watch him because I'm like, oh, he's actually good in the ring. Blah. If you insist on having Logan Paul around, I don't know why you put him in these positions because like you should be using him to develop other people. Like putting him in front of Karrion Kross right now, money. Karrion Kross, in a fight with Logan Paul for like the soul of the industry. That's easy. You could, if you wanted to turn Gunther face, which I think you could at this point, because he's been, evil Austrian guy, evil, Nazi for long enough. If you were interested in touching that, you could do it with Logan Paul. You should be putting Logan Paul in front of people who need to be developed. He doesn't need to be put in front of Jay. Jay's fine. That does nothing for either of them.
Gunther is it's perma heel, where
Perma heel.
He's perma heel.
Well, I mean, yeah, with the Nazi under or overtones. I don't know. I mean,
how long is he going to be? That's going to get old, though.
Well, I mean, sometimes Nazis come back. I mean, there's a reason why they're called neo-Nazis, not like natural Nazis.
Natural.
I just feel like if you insist on having this boy around, you could be actually putting him to use instead of just throwing him in situations that he doesn't deserve. Come on. Why he shouldn't be at anyone's fucking world title scene for real. And wait, I kind of thought that the thing with Cody, Cena coming in, I was like, why is Cena there? Oh, he had the run-in with Jay earlier. All right. And then Cody. And then, they got to build up that Money in the Bank thing quickly because that's coming up pretty soon. Got to get another match on there. Just have them say, boom, this is what's happening as the credits are rolling. Let's, wrap it up.
Yeah, just
what of Travis Scott involved in that?
Oh my God, yeah. And like speaking of that, it made me laugh too because Cody comes out, just move. All right, so so you got two guys, I got two guys. Hold on, we got 30 seconds left. Okay, shit. We should do Money in the Bank coming up in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's it. You bring your two guys, bring our two guys, and then right as he says that, credit, like it cuts the feed.
When they rang the bell for Jay, he was reaching for a mic, and I was like, "What the fuck are you gonna say now?"
So he took the referee out of the match, and I'm just like, "Wait, that's a disqualification."
Normally, under normal circumstances.
But main event Jey Uso headlined his first main event, and it was a Saturday night main event, and they still had to get that pin. So I'm like, "What the fuck? Like this makes no sense."
Yo,
just John Cena. For some reason, I don't know why he attacked him. It's like they have nothing in common. It's just like, well, I'm a heel, so
I guess the ruining in the industry thing works if you put him next to the guy who's actually out to ruin the industry in terms of like being there. Both of them being jerks makes sense, I guess. But it did feel schmozzy and confusing.
It was a big old schmoz.
It was so confusing. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Money in the Bank. He was really rushing toward that point. It was almost embarrassing to watch.
Okay, I did my move. All right, everybody. You guys got two guys. We got two guys. We're gonna have a match in 2 weeks in Los Angeles. Money in the Bank. Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Bye.
Coverage for this program is now over. That's
right?
Peacock said.
Oh my God. This is a weird show altogether. I feel like all the Saturday Night main events so far have been weird. I guess with the exception of that match with Cody and Kevin, that real bad one. No, the real good one they had was not at Saturday Night's main event. That was when he stole. The best thing that has come out of those is him stealing the belt and the whole "this is my belt" thing. Blah blah blah. That's probably the best thing that's come out of these so far.
Yeah. Like it's a hard thing to do because
it's weird.
All these pay-per-view events usually have 4 weeks to build up to it, but these last couple times, 3 weeks. Okay. It's like I kind of feel that Cody should have been gone until like August in a weird way, like until SummerSlam, and yeah, It just didn't happen.
Yeah, and I don't know how they plan to bring him back in, and it's still kind of a question of who's going to take the belt back off of Cena and all this other stuff.
Well, it's
It
gonna be
has
Cody.
been weird. Is it?
I think is the only logical answer. Like,
Is it?
yeah, like what are you gonna have it Jay Uso?
I think it should be Punk.
It they won't. No matter who you choose, it's people are gonna be like
Mad.
yes,
True. Yes.
it should be Punk, but
Well, who's left for, the farewell tour of his, previous.
Roman.
What?
Like I think they might do that for SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah. That makes
be-
sense. Roman always shows up at SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
and that'll be around the time that because Roman has always beat John Cena. Like
Mhm.
yeah, he's always beat John Cena. It's been a thing.
Is he gonna this time then?
I think John Cena's going to beat Roman.
Okay.
He's going to have to.
Mhm.
Then maybe you could
With shenanigans.
Maybe you could do Punk, and then right before he leaves, he'll lose the Punk.
I think that Punk would be a good idea because of, Punk's also essentially on a farewell tour of his own.
Mhm.
And if he drops to Punk, then he gets to have that match with Cody that they've been kind of, playing with for the last year or so.
Yeah.
And then you have the chance to kind of play with the heel face at that point. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But because it would be fun and might make some sort of sense with what you've been talking about for the last year, they're not going to do it.
Yeah. Like you're gonna. It's weird because he's only wrestled guys who are close to 40 now as a heel because Cody Rhodes is almost 40,
Mhm.
and then Ron Truth is 85. So like it's like the man was taking pictures in his 20s with Tupac, so that's how old he is. And I'm definitely serious. There's a picture of him and Tupac together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nonsense.
So yeah, it was a weird show, very strange show.
Yeah.
You want to mention Wyatt Six?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. They showed back up because it's weird because Alexa Bliss is going to be in the Money in the Bank, but they might do something with that. Then they just attacked the tag team division, and it's just like, okay, we want the tag team belts.
Like, why?
Well, I mean, they had him do that because it was Bray's.
Mhm.
It would have been Bray's 38th birthday,
Yeah. Hmm.
and that's why they came back. It was a tribute to Bray.
Yeah.
But they came in, beat up people, and then
Montez crossed himself. That man is a performer. Okay.
Honestly, if I was the Street Profits, I would just been like, we'll get off the top rope and then just leave, because they're kind of heelish now in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? Not today. Like there was, I tell the story. I tell the story. When I was hiking once, I was like just starting the hike. I got up to like the first mile, and then there was one of those like mountain cats. I don't know if it was lion or whatever, and he was on the trail. Like I want to say at least 20 feet away from me, and I saw him. I was just like, "You got it," and then I just walked back to my car. That's how I feel. It's just like
that's what Ted should have done. Like, I don't want none of that smoke.
it's like, you guys got it. I'm out.
Okay. I don't know what they're gonna do with him next.
Oh no, they don't have any plans. It was just cool, but
That is whack.
They don't have plans. It's cool. It looks cool.
One cool moment.
Yeah, it goes viral, and then we talked about it when right before. Yeah, it happened right before we stopped doing the podcast for a little bit. But they showed up, and then it was cool for a couple weeks, and then they lose a match, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
For months.
Months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Uncle Hattie was injured, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like,
What are y'all doing?
they're like mid card. They can't be main event
Right. Yeah.
act because
Mm-hmm.
if they were a main event act, then they would just constantly win because they would be.
Yeah.
It's the Bray Wyatt thing where
Mm-hmm.
Bray Wyatt could truly never be a main event act because he was.
Wasn't he? He was the belt.
He was. That was part of the thing. Like, I feel that he. How do I say this? One of the detriments was the fact that he was a main event guy. Like if he was like a mid card guy, he would have been gold. But they're like, he's main event, so like all the not spooky dooky shit could
Spoopy.
Yeah. Spoopy.
Mm-hmm.
Gets erased because he's such a character.
Mm-hmm. When he was doing the Funhouse thing, which was, from looking back at it after the fact, seemed to be the peak of what he did over his time character wise. Did he have a belt at that time?
Yeah, they gave him the Universal belt.
Okay.
It was weird. Yeah, it was.
Did you ever get to see it? Because they were always doing segments when he was like in Elmo's bedroom.
Yeah, he had the belt inside the Funhouse because it was cool. Like the Funhouse was a cool thing. He was too. It's that weird thing where somebody's too creative for wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's probably his detriment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
had he just went to Hollywood, WWE would have been like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
But
Ultimately, he probably would have.
Yeah, Vince McMahon is just like, how do I stop this from happening?
I know. The Fiend. Get really weird.
Fiend.
Oh, Christ.
Fiend,
okay, that's
Fiend.
where we wrap it up.
Fiend.
Okay.
Fiend, Penny.
Oh
Fiend.
my God.
Fiend.
No,
Fiend.
Travis Scott. Boo. Oh my God. Follow us on the social medias. On our YouTube, you're at Home Wrestling League. On Twitter, we very occasionally are. Is Twitter down? Has it been down the last couple days?
Yeah, America's under cyber attack, but no one really wants to notice it.
Yeah, it's been that way for months now. Years of keeping it a single
anymore. That's why no one gives a shit anymore. Like, why should we care?
Look what happens when we do.
Exactly.
Over there, if it still works and if you still use it, you're at _HWL on Instagram and Threads, where I spend most of my time saying unhinged things. You're at home_wrestling_league, and at Blue Sky, where people are trying to use it too, we are at the HWL. This is where we would probably say something interesting about Money in the Bank, but then the credits are running and then it would be over.